of them. The ones who were the Kohanim, the elite Leviim were in the valley, including Leviim who were the Zakanim, who were the leaders of Shevet Levi, but the average Levi was up on the mountain.
Which one?
Har Gerizim, the mountain of blessing.
Zakanim are all Leviim?
No, but the assumption is that Kohanim, Leviim are going to be the Morei Hara'ah. They're the people that already are holding by Hashem Elokecha. They're the ones who uphold the law. They're the ones that teach. They're the ones that paskin the shilas. They're the ones that populate the Sanhedrin. They're the ones that carry the Aron Kodesh, that create the space for Klal Yisrael to come and do tshuva so that they can reconcile with Elokim. Right? What's that? Okay, the cursed mountain, Elu Yamdu ala Klala Bahar Eval, Reuven, Gad, Ve'asher, Uzvulun, Dan V'Naftali. And then it says, V'ano Levim V'amru El Kol Ish, Yisrael B'Kol Ram. They make a pronouncement. Now, according to Chazal, as Rashi says, what really, the Gemara says, and the Gemara that clarifies it is Sota Lamed Beis, and says this is what really happened. They said, Baruch Ha'ish Asher Lo Ya'aseh Pesel U'Masecha. Blessed be the man who does not make for himself in secret Masi De Charash V'Sham B'Seisa, who makes himself a secret idol. And then they would turn, and then they would say, Amen. Everybody says Amen. And then he would turn to Har Eval and says, Cursed is the one, Arur Ha'ish, Asher Yaseh Pesel U'Masecha To'ebas Hashem. Yet if you look in the Chumash, which is included and which is not, which part of that back and forth is not included? The Baruch part. It only says the Arurs. So question number one, we have a couple questions here. Let's analyze this in the context of trying to reach Klal Yisrael and bringing them up to the level of Hashem Elokim. This was one of those mitzvos, and what's going on? I put 6 people on a cursed mountain? How could you do that? That would start a civil war right there. And why does the Torah only record this conversation in the context of a curse? Now there are 12 of them. So one would think, as Rav Moshe Hadarshan points out in Rashi, that each one associates with a different what? Tribe. I got 6 on this mountain, 6 on this mountain, and there are 12 pronouncements. Let's go through them, okay? Just make a little note because we're going to have to think about this right now. First one is Arur, Yaseh Pesel, I'm making it concise, V'Sam B'Seiser, a secret idol. Secret Avodah Zarah, that's number 1. Blessing and curse. Second, Arur Makla Aviv Imo. He who abuses his parents, makes light of them, makes fun of them, or otherwise makes them miserable. I think, unfortunately, that would include all children, but that's a different problem. God bless them. Rashi says, Mizalzel. It's Mizalzel in his parents. That's number 2. Number 3, Or Masig Gvul Re'u. You steal your friend's property by moving the borders and saying, this property is mine. You move the sticks. You're stealing property. And then, that's number 3. Number 4, Mashke Iver Baderech. It's kind of like Lifnei Iver, like, tripping the blind. This includes people who you could help them with information to keep them from getting harmed, and you don't. So there's a dual aspect, actively hurting people and also not helping people. The next one is Or Mate Mishpat Ger Yatom. That what you're doing is that you are manipulating the case of the poor. Now you might think that it means against them. That's probably the simple pshat. But it could also mean manipulating justice in favor of the weak. One of my pet themes is about the U.S. Supreme Court, under the liberals, appointed a number of judges who had an agenda. What was their agenda? Sotomayor and all these kind, including our own Yiddish court members. Social justice, kindness to the poor, equality to Hispanics. Excuse me, you're a Supreme Court justice. You're not a social worker. Okay? You want to be a politician and a social worker and a community organizer? Go ahead. You want to be the dean of the social work school? Fine. But you're a lawyer. You're a jurist. Your obsession is what? The law. And if a poor person is on the wrong side of the law, you have no right to say, well, you know, these rich people, they have no right to be so rich. Let's distribute a little wealth away from them. That's not law. That may be social work. That may be charitable foundations, but it's not law. Law is the law. That's it. So maybe, perhaps, it means also the other way. Not only to distort the law in favor, against, but also in favor of. Next is, the next one is, Shochev im Eishes Aviv. This is strange, because one stepmother shouldn't violate a stepmother. Next one, shouldn't be with an animal, bestiality. And then the next one is violating a sister. And the next one is violating a mother-in-law. Right?
Mother-in-law?
Yeah, mother-in-law, chotanto. And then, makereu baseiser. This is also a reference to Lashon Hara. Secretly speaking badly about people and seeking their harm. That is, yeah. And then the next one is, I'll go over it. And the next one is makereu baseiser, and then arur lokeach shochad lahakot nefesh dam naki. As a judge, to receive a bribe to injure somebody against the law. This is interesting because it's similar to that previous one. And then one final one. Arur asher lo yakim es divrei haTorah hazos lasos osam v'amar kol ha'am amen. Now, the Torah doesn't say amar kol ha'am amen until the last one. What? The 12th one is Lo yakim es divrei haTorah hazos. It's a general thing about anybody who refuses to keep it. It says, Rashi says, Kan kolol es kol haTorah kula, v'kibluha be'ola u'b'shvua. That's why I said to you, the Gemara in Sota, Lamed Zayin says, Hashem says, listen, I'm God, I'm your Elokim, these are the rules, please don't give me a hard time, because you're not going anywhere, and I'm not going anywhere. We all want this to go well. So please, be cooperative. It's not like I'm speaking to my kids, right? We need your cooperation here. We need your buy-in. So, a couple of questions.
The Torah is not under negotiation.
It's not under negotiation, right? Kafa aleim har kegigis. Hashem gave us the Torah, whether we like it or we have to keep the Torah. That's the destiny of the world. Jewish people know there's not 22,000 Jews who are righteously adhering Torah. The world goes poof. It evaporates. It disappears. That's what we say, because 22,000 is the minimum. We say, Shuv Hashem Rivavos Alfei Yisrael. 22,000 Jews. We would say in V'ducha Yomar that that's the absolute core number of Jews that have to be observing the Torah. Chaf Beis Osios, the 22 letters of the Aleph Beis, with which the world and Torah was created. We don't got that. We don't have the Chomer to keep this world sustained and present. So let's just review the list. Number 1, Pesel Beseter, a secret idol. 2, Mizalzel Horim, belittling your parents. 3, moving the boundaries back, overtaking somebody's property, somebody's homestead, their land.
Only land or any property?
It says gvul. The classic example is moving the boundaries, taking over a person's land. Okay?
Could you extrapolate that's also going into somebody's personal area, their home, their privacy?
No doubt. There's many thoughts of that, but I think we're going to look at it as part of a bigger gestalt, as it were, here that Moshe Rabbeinu is teaching. Because all of these klalos, whose idea were they? The Gemara says Moshe Rabbeinu came up with all of the klalos. Now we have to know what that means. The Rishonim do not go back and forth about whether even one tiny letter of the Torah wasn't actually given over by Hashem to Moshe. But the Gemara also does say that these curses were Moshe Rabbeinu's, which is why they're in a different language. They're not spoken from Hashem's perspective, they're spoken from Moshe's perspective. Even if there's a slight nuance difference there, they call it Moshe's klalos. Moshe had something to do with them. So he's trying to teach. So what else do we have here? Mashke iver, which means deceiving somebody who's blind physically or to a situation. Mate mishpat ger yotson, which means skewing the din because of considerations of poverty one way or the other. Arur shochev imeshes ish, that's adultery. No, eshes aviv, excuse me. A mother-in-law, a stepmother, and then a behema, and then a mother-in-law, okay, a sister from either father or mother, then a mother-in-law, then lashon hara, and then taking bribes to do away with people in a corrupt way, and then a general one. So, what Moshe Darshan says, there's really only 11 curses. Why? Because the final one is klali. It's a klala klali, nebuch. So it doesn't have an assigned tribe. So which tribe was left out? Which tribe was left out? Everybody wants me during this year. The tribe was left out. Which tribe was left out? Shimon. Why was Shimon left out, says Moshe Darshan? Because in Zos HaBracha, which is the end of the Torah, Shimon is not going to get a bracha. What? Yeah, I'm sorry. So again?
Oh, Shimon is on the mountain, but...
Shimon is on the mountain, but yeah, exactly. But he's there, but he's piggybacking, he's part of the general, but he's not unique and specific. He's there because it's a general thing about, the last one is going to be general, includes all the tribes. So he's included in that, but there's no specific problem associated with Shimon. That's because in the end of the Torah, Shimon will not get a bracha from Moshe Rabbeinu. It's very sad. Why will Shimon not get a bracha from Moshe Rabbeinu? Good question. And how does Moshe Darshan know that Shimon's the one left out? So he's taking his cue from V'zos HaBracha, right? He's forced by the hand. He says, Shimon's missing, must be that he's the guy that's missing over here. It's a match. What is the point of this drasha? So I'll just like to suggest, and we'll conclude with this. There's so much more, but we'll take it further. These are very basic things. Now you could argue that this is what the nations of Canaan did. Probably right. This is what was part of their society: the incest, the constant fighting, the hating of other people, the corruption. Okay, I could take that as a very simple explanation. But I think that the key word here is gvul, a boundary, right? Masig gvul. When a person comes into Eretz Yisrael and needs to fight hard to establish himself in Eretz Yisrael, there's a danger that they'll, as they say, get too big for their britches. They'll become Anochi-centered. Moshe Rabbeinu gave a warning to the Jewish people. Don't go beyond. Don't start thinking, right, that you don't have a boundary and be humbled that a boundary you don't cross. Your parents, that's a boundary you don't cross. If a person hates on their parents, mizalzel their parents, what does it say about their character? What kind of arrogance is that? What kind of lack of what? Hakaras ha-tov. Goodness. Respect, kindness. He says, I don't want you to be that person that has no boundaries to the self. Land? I need land. I need more land. That guy doesn't need land. What does he need land for? He's not doing anything. I'm important. I'm doing something. I have an agenda. Taking advantage of the weak because you are strong. That's a theme here. Not respecting familiar relationships and loyalties to parents. Hashem is basically telling Klal Yisrael, don't do it to yourselves and don't do it to me. I'm also your father. Avinu Malkeinu. Respect who I am. Don't go into my realm. If I give you rules, observe them. If you want to have kavod, it's my kavod. Bikurim, you bring to me. Meiser, you give to Leviim. Know that there's going to be a certain measure of humility that will have to temper your enthusiasm. And to me, that is the great explanation of the name Hashem Elokim. A love and an enthusiasm and an excitement and an agenda and an energy tempered by a boundary of Elokim. De'im lo, ish esre'eu chayim balo. People will consume each other with their own personal grandiosity. Hashem and Moshe Rabbeinu's teaching. So now you understand, I'll suggest. What is Moshe really teaching them? Why did he leave out the baruchs? And why could he dare put 6 people on the mountain? Because he says to them, you know what? Don't make a mistake. By avoiding this, by not being a baruch is something that multiplies, right? What's a bracha? I'll give you a bracha. A lot of kids, a lot of money, a lot of everything. Proliferation. Pru-ure-vu. That's all wonderful. But it has to be tempered by hakaras hatov and boundaries and respect and kavod. Within that context is pru-ure-vu. Not exploding beyond that context, right? So the Maral says 11 represents creeping beyond your boundary. Reshut harabim is 10 tvachim and no more. The world was created with 10 spheros and no more. A minyan is 10. That's your world. That's the 2 letters of the Yud Kei Vav Kei that descend downward are 11. Why? Because that's the boundary between me and you. And don't go past it. Don't go past it. Honor the parents. Respect them. Hakaras hatov. Respect the poor. Respect other people. This is how you're going to be successful. And if you do it, what you think is a bracha is really what? Is a klala. You want to pru-ure-vu. You want to go on and on and on. The world was created with a beis. A beis is a number of proliferation. Why? Because you multiply, any number past 1, if you multiply it, it multiplies. 2 times 2 is 4. Wow, that was quick. We went from 2 to 4. We doubled. 3 times 3, 9. Whoa. 1 times 1 is how much? Stay right where you are. That's Hashem's world. That's the world of 11. Stay out of it. In that world, there's no mitzvah pru-ure-vu. When you get to Olam Haba, there's no pru-ure-vu. There are no kids who need to be fed or taught or diapered or anything else. There's no land boundaries to fight over. There's only achdus of Hashem. But that's not your job. Your job is to be in this world, the lower, vav, and the world of 10 touching 11, and go down there and remember that I'm above you. And together we will have a successful partnership in Eretz Yisrael. Why do you bring Bikurim? Because Hashem wants to take your money away? No, because we're partners. Why give Meiser? Because we're partners. So one of the big goals for Rosh Hashanah is to understand and to respect Hashem. If you expect Him as a father, Avinu Malkeinu, then respect His boundaries. Hashem also has boundaries. He gives you a law, observe it. Try to step up from just being banim, which is pure midas harachamim, but it doesn't mean that you accomplished anything. Hashem loves you because He loves everybody. He loves every Jew. What we want to do is to show Hashem that we can also incorporate Elokim. That's what Hashem really, really wants. Discipline, boundaries, respect, not to be kafui tov. He says, be that and stay within your gvul. And then I'll have the shleimut of a person that can really, really be the Jew, the man that I originally created. And this is what we're davening for the world. The world should mensch out. Mensch out. Don't hang out with, don't shochev behemot. Don't go to the lowest levels. Don't forget to be respectful to elders and those who teach you. Don't steal. Don't hide. This is what we're here to take. If you manage to put a boundary, the things that you think are a bracha, they're really a klala. You may get things at expense of another person. Wow, I got more money at the expense of that person. But that's a bracha. That's not a bracha. That's an arur. That's why Moshe only incorporates the word arur here. To say, you're going to think it's a bracha. Wow, I'm great. I expanded myself. I got what I wanted. No. It's only an arur. So Hashem, but through Moshe Rabbeinu's compassion, He says we're going to turn everything for a bracha. So that's what we want to say, is that all of our averos are turned into segulos and merits. When we say to Hashem, okay, I'm going to make sure to honor your word. And then Hashem will say, you know what? You were like that, and now you're changing. I'm going to give you a double credit for that, because that's not the way you were. And you changed. I give you extra points. And Mr. Shemet should hold this instead. I will be taking names for davening in Uman. Please email them and create a list. Of course, these names. And whatever should be a good shliach mitzvah for everyone, for my family, and for everyone we know, and for our community, and for those who need tzorech, who need a geula, and that he should view us favorably and take us from Hashem to Hashem Elokim. Okay.